My mother always stressed the important things. Don't get high, don't drink, don't smoke, work hard. Surround yourself with people who are more successful and smarter than you are. That's a good piece of advice. Get rid of your loser friends. They're vampires. They will suck the life out of you. They want things from you. Be around people who look better than you, go to better places, are smarter. You'll have something to learn. You will learn nothing from the corner wino. Nothing. I don't even remember your question, but I was more interested in what I had to say.
All right, let's go.
What would you like to know?
Here we go. There he is. All right, you're live. You're on the air. You're back. How can we China go over here? We're getting into it. We're having a good conversation. You hear me, Mr. Simmons?
I do. I do hear you. Nothing I said in this broadcast is true. That may prevent some of the flack that I'm going to get. But privately, everybody tells the truth. Privately, if that guy over there, that's schmegegi. But of course, the rest of the world doesn't know what schmegegi is. That's one of the great words.
Schmegegi. Well, I caught you off guard with Hakmi Chinik the other day.
People don't know what that is.
But we know, because we're Jews.
Are you? No. Oh, boy, here we go again.
Too, because it's great advice for anybody that's watching it, even for myself. And sometimes you got to clean house. Not sometimes, but a lot of times you do.
All the time.
All the time.
You'll find that as soon as you put things in order, and there's nothing that. There are a lot of things in your life and mine that are unnecessary. Get rid of those things. That includes people. They're not there to help you.
No. I mean, there's only a handful of people I could count on as true friends, and a lot of people will bring you down.
Well, friends are okay. I'm more, when I was a kid, they used to call me Mr. Spock because I don't tend to get emotional or not a lot of pathos in there because I saw it through the eyes of my mother. Who was able to just move on, even though she saw her whole family wiped out in gas chambers. Okay, she saw that. So a lot of people go to movies and watch soap operas and they cry and all these unimportant kinds of things. And that's cool, by the way. You want to cry at a soap opera, that's great. That's not important. So I tended not to have lots of friends. I was too busy trying to figure out, besides the fame stuff, how to make money, how do you survive? How do you have the right thing at the right place and the right time? Your friend just wants to go pick up chicks and get high and do all that stuff. Part of that's okay. The chick part is okay. But even that's going to cost you money. So you better figure out how to get a good job, make lots of money. And here's the politically incorrect point. The more money you have, the more chicks will like you.
This is the way it is.
I just follow the rules. Those are the rules. Pull up in a beaten up old Volkswagen and ask a young lady if she wants to go grab some baked beans and a hot dog, or pull up in a Rolls Royce and say, get in, I'm taking you wherever I want to go. What do you think? What's she going to go for?
She wants that. She wants treated like a queen. She wants the Rolls Royce.
Of course, she wants it. And by the way, two guys are talking and two girls are talking. I know women are hating that I'm telling the truth. Two guys are talking. One guy says to the other guy, hey, I've got a blind date for you. So his friend naturally says, what does she look like? That makes sense because that's our biology. That's our DNA. So the two girls are talking. I've got a blind date for you. Really? What does he do?
Number one question.
What kind of a car does he have? I don't give a fuck what kind of a car she has. I don't care if she pulls up in a stinky old garbage truck. I only care if she's attractive.
Everybody has their thing, what they want. That's it.
Well, there's a difference. men want sex. They want some companionship, not too much. You don't want to be smothered. You want peace and quiet, stuff like that. And women want everything, everything, all the time. And you know why men die younger than their beloved? Because they want to. Now, none of this applies to Shannon, my wife. No way.
No.
She is the exception to every rule. In fact, she does not bear fools lightly. When she hears some of her girlfriends talking, she goes, "Bah, bah, 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 bah," because that means female. There's no equivalent for the male. Chatter, chatter, chick, 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 bah, 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 bah. Here's another one. It's going to get me in trouble, but I
don't want to get you in trouble, so you don't have to say it.
It's too deep.
Okay.
So ask me how I am. Just say, "Hey, Gene, how are you?"
Hey, Gene, how are you?
Fine. See, we're done. If I ask, not all women on the face of the planet, some, "How are you?" Well, when I was a child of 4, I forgot to sing it. Then it was good. And then 10 years later, and then you just, come up for air. Even after you're dead, they will stand over your grave. When you were alive, shut up! I'm dead. I'm gone. Get a hobby. I'm only saying that because it's funny but true.
It's funny but true. I don't know if I should agree with you, because when my wife watches this, I'll be. So you agree with him,
Sure.
huh?
Well, here's my suggestion. You have a dog in the house?
I have 2 dogs.
Okay, so take one of your dogs, man's best friend, and take your wife. You got to follow my advice.
Okay.
Lock them both in the trunk of your car. Do that. Leave them in there for 24 hours. At the end of that time, open the trunk and see which one is going to be happy to see you.
I never thought of that.
I do all the time.
You know what? That's why you're a genius.
What I just said, true.
It's very true.
One of the two is going to be thrilled to see you. The other one's going to go shopping and bankrupt you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Amber, if you're watching, I'm only agreeing because he's on the air, but off the air, I agree with you 100%.
Well, this one does not include Amber, who I'm sure is not.
I know.
It's not like the housewives of every successful guy who's got money. You never have a show about housewives of plumbers.
No, you don't.
It's only about, and the good-looking chicks who have enough time to frizz and and zhuzh. You know what zhuzh is?
What is zhuzh? When you say
Zhuzh is
zhuzh,
like
just to
when you
fluff
lift
the hair.
You lift and separate and spray, and just make. You got to create a sculpture.
Yeah.
I got to wake up and use a fucking can of hairspray on this, so it looks like it's more than it is. It's not. It's not a lot there. I got a lot more on my back.
Amen. I do too. And you know what? I'm starting just to go with it. And I'm going to slick it back. That's all I'm going to do. I'm like a Jewish Marlon Brando. I tell myself that.
Big old Jew again.
What can I do? What can I do? I slick it back. There's nothing I can do. And in my head, I think I'm Brando.
If you've got money, they will not care. You can go and Google Sophia Loren at her most beautiful. She's still my goddess. I've got to pass on her. When she was 19, 20, coming out of the water in marriage Italian style, and or it might have been divorce Italian style with Marcello Mastroianni, and all the water and the clothes are clinging to her, and that figure and the face and all that. And she, by the way, had liaisons, I'm told, with Cary Grant and Clark Gable and like all the stars that she played with. Take a look at what her husband looked like, Carlo Ponti. He was the most powerful filmmaker, and clean on top, a shorter man, not a fashion plate, but I'm sure she loved him. Women want that power, that prestige, and they take her last name. They still do.
That's right. Well, some do.
It's tough for them to go with the, I can't say Abdullah because somebody's going to get fucking pissed off.
You can't say anything these days.
You can make fun of Jews because you're Jews. She doesn't want to be married to Ira, the garbage collector. She doesn't. So the prettiest girls will marry success. In fact, How to Marry a Millionaire and all that stuff, those are all chick movies. They're not guy movies. I don't care if you've got money or not. I can make my own.
You definitely proven that, huh?
Boy, are the women going to be all over me. Misogynist, you hate it. I stand by every word I said.
Well, you can't say anything these days. You got to be very careful. And it's just a whole nother world. It's almost like we're going back in time where.
No, well, there's got to be some normalcy. I think the pendulum will swing back.
I hope so.
And how do comics make jokes? Because the premise of a joke is it's got to be at somebody's going to be made fun of. That's what the joke is all about.
Don Rickles. You think about your favorite comics. My favorites was always the busting chops. Don Rickles.
You know,
One of my favorites.
What's 12 inches and Jewish? Nothing. By the way, it used to be what's 12 inches and white. But of course, there are white people, especially in certain states in these United States, that get very upset. Jews don't give a fuck. We only care that you're not trying to kill us. Everything else is okay. Make fun of us, it's fine. Because we went through the other stuff. The other stuff doesn't work. People who've never been racially profiled like white people get very upset very fast.
Very sensitive people are these days.
It's such a waste of time. They're the power elite. White people still rule America. You know, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, that whole thing. They get very upset.
Yeah.
The white Aryan nations. There's no Jewish supremacist organization.
No.
You don't have to say it. We gave you the Bible and the 10 Commandments. I win.
You do win. I want to ask you now.
And I forgot, you worship one of us.
That's right.
Your God is a... By the way, you know how we know Jesus was Jewish?
How?
He lived with his mother until he was 33 years old. His mother thought he was God. He actually believed his mother was a virgin. And then he went into his father's business. That's the truth.
Where did you get? Did you make that up?
No.
Where did you get? That's great.
I wish I did. I'm going to pull back. Why do all the chicks love Jesus?
Why?
Well, he's hung like this. Don't get upset, all you religious people out there. It's just a joke.
It's just a joke, and I tell everybody that
you can't do it. I'm going to get letters from every self-appointed and self-anointed. I speak to Jesus. Shut up. Please have a sense of humor. I already made fun of Jews all the time. All the time.
You make fun of me.
Said we have small sexual members. We don't dribble ball. We don't do anything. Let me have one of your jokes.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to have the jokes. You're not allowed.
I love what Kevin Hart just said about cancel culture. He said, "Go fuck yourself." You know, maybe that's the right idea. Maybe we should all start using hashtag "Go fuck yourself," or it's my opinion. But you can't, because people lose jobs if they say something. I would like to start a campaign. I would welcome just my opinion. I'd welcome all the comedians to start making fun of Jews. Just make fun of us. And then maybe that opens the door to being made so you can make fun of other people. I'll never forget Lisa Lampanelli, who, famous comedian, she roasted me along with other people, including, by the way, Mr. Trump, who was on the video roasting me. But these were pre-political days. And she gets up there and she says, "You know, I'm really, really proud to be here. And I want to ask you a question. What do you call a man whose poetry and lyrics have influenced and changed the world? What do you call a man who instinctively understood the goodness and the love, and that we all need love to get by? What do you call that man?" "I call him John Lennon." I don't know who the fuck this bozo is, but I call, yeah. And she made fun of my hair. She said, "The fuck is on your head, a raccoon?" Yeah, so that was a good day. And the first time I ever saw her, we were playing a concert someplace in Middle America. And this was the beginning of Lampanelli's thing. And she was playing a small club, and the stage is here in front of you, and the front door is right on the side. So you enter on the side in front of the stage, and then the seats went backwards. And so I had some guests with me, members of the opposite sex, and we came in through the front, right in front of the stage, and sat off to the side, close to Lisa. And she said, "You smell that? Jew." And the rest of the night, she just destroyed me. She said, "They let you in?"
It's great. Fabulous.
Fantastic.
It really is. I love that. Eric and I got to go see right before he passed away, Don Rickles, and we got to go see him, Eric. We have to. And he was still on it. I mean, he did older, and then he did.
People called him a racist and all that because he made black jokes and white jokes and Asian jokes, all jokes. Rickles, I knew him. Rickles' right-hand guy was an African-American gentleman. He always went with him and took care of his family and did everything for him. And I used to go over to Sammy Davis's house when he was alive, and he'd tell me stories about how Sinatra, who used to do Me and My Shadow in his act with Sammy Davis in back of him, mimic me and my shadow. You can't do that today.
No.
But I'll tell you what, Sinatra stood up for Sammy Davis, who was also not only African American, but Jewish. And in those days, Vegas would not allow people of color to stay in the same hotel. In the same rooms, in the same hotel that they were headlining in, they had to go to what's called the colored hotels. They were not allowed. And Sinatra said, "If you don't let Sammy Davis Jr. stay here in the hotel, I'm not playing your ever again." And he opened the doors. The same guy that did Me and much, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, different times.
But just think about that, what you just said, different times, but him just standing for bat for Sammy for that time.
He stood up, and by the way, he stood up to the boys, people with vowels at the ends of their names. And I'm not going to get too specific because some of them are my friends.
Yeah.
But there's no question about it. It's people with vowels. Not all of them. Mayor Lansky and Bugsy Siegel were Jewish guys. In fact, who else but the Jews would invent Las Vegas? Think about it.
The story. Oh my God.
Money.
The story about that.
Oh, you can't get close to that. So, do people know that famous Don Rickles, Frank Sinatra story? Do you?
What is there's one I know where he was on a date, but what is it?
He's done it in his act, and I asked him if it was true, and he said yes. He's trying to impress the woman who would later become his wife, and of course she doesn't think much of him. He was never really a fashion plate, and he's sitting down in a room. He's playing the small room, and Frank Sinatra's playing the big room, and they're sitting eating, and his back is to Sinatra on the table, with Rizzo and all the rest of the guys. And his date for the night, who he hopes he can marry, says, "Oh, it's Frank Sinatra." And he goes, "Where? Turns around, just a minute. And he gets up and walks over, and she says, "Oh my God." So he walks over and he says, "Mr. Sinatra, I know I'm bothering you." And security is about to get up and goes, "Oh God, let the kid talk." As a matter of fact, he called Rickles the kid until he passed away. Let the kid talk. And Rickles is saying, you don't know what this means to me. It's an honor to meet you, but that woman is the woman of, my dreams, and I want to marry her. But she worships you. If you, on the way out, if you could just say hi, Don, say something like that, it would go a long way for me. Would you do that for me? He goes, "Sure, kid, sure, kid." So Rickles goes back to eating. And he's eating, and she's saying, Frank Sinatra?" He goes, yeah, he's always, always bothering me and stuff like that. He does? Yeah, he's always trying to get me to talk to him and stuff like that. Sinatra's coming over, she goes, oh, here comes Frank Sinatra. And he doesn't pick up his head while he's eating. And Sinatra goes over and says, "Hey, Don, how are you?" And Rickles says, "I'm eating over here."
So that's a real story. It really did happen.
True story.
But
and
in real,
Sinatra, by the way, laughed his head off, and Rickles put it into his act.
it's fantastic. Fantastic. You know, the one of the things I love about Rickles is when he was on the Carson show back in the day, you know, Vinny Gubat says goodbye and Joe, boom, you know, and I would die laughing. It's so funny. And Sinatra would be there laughing
Their heads off. He'd make fun of the boys. And he
and
would
get
go,
away with it.
and get away with it. Here's a great one. How do Jews yawn? Oh. How do Italians yawn? Oh.
Oh, Gene, all that.
There's a private Rickles joke that he didn't tell in public. What's the Italian alphabet?
What is it?
Fucking A, fucking B, fucking C. Oh, am I going to get in trouble today?
You know, you think about Rickles, he never cussed in his shows, did he?
No,
Never.
he didn't say, no. He thought it was too easy, that there was a new generation of comics that would say fucking this and fucking that. He go, it doesn't show craft. He would come out there and just pick on people. What you saw was real. There was no sort of script. He had a few jokes, but then he went right into the people. There was nobody like him.
Genius. And that's what he made his show was so great because he brought the people, the audience into his show. They were the show.
Yeah. Generation Z and millennials, there was once something called comedians, and they were able to make jokes about anybody without repercussions.
Now you pull somebody from the audience, it's a lawsuit's going to happen.
Oh, they'll sue you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different time.
And so I think what we should do is sue them first.
Yeah.
Let's like if one person sues like a comedian, the entire audience should sue them right back.
It just, yeah. Even like with a meet and greet, like they're going waiting online, somebody trips, I fell.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. By the way, I just got the stink eye from my crew over there. They were getting it back to work.
I'm going to let you go. Gene, you spent more than enough time, and it was really wonderful chatting with you. Hope we could do it again.
I would just like to add one final thing, and that is nothing I said in this broadcast is true. That may prevent some of the flack that I'm going to get. But privately, everybody tells the truth. Privately, that guy over there, that's Schmegegi. But of course, the rest of the world doesn't know what Schmegegi is. That's one of the great words.
Schmegegi. Well, I caught you off guard with Hakmi Chinik the other day.
People don't know what that is.
But we know because we're Jews.
Are you? No. Oh, boy, here we go again. You want to explain? Do you know that there are more people, more men, women, and children in Guadalajara, one city in Mexico, than there are men, women, and children of the Jewish faith on planet Earth.
Wow.
There are 18 million people in Guadalajara, one city.
One city. Wow.
There are 330, something like that, million people in America. There's 1,400,000,000 or so in India and China. There's 7 billion or so people on planet Earth. There are only 14.5 million Jews on planet Earth.
Well, I want to ask you one question about that.
I never touched her.
No. How many of those people have kiss tattoos, you think?
We're not allowed. Kiss tattoos was a sign of paganism, and do not defile God's perfect creation. How dare you defile yourself with pagan imagery when your body is an homage to your creator? That's why Jews don't have tattoos. You're not allowed to, at least by the book, be buried in a Jewish cemetery if you have tattoos. That's for them.
That's for them. Gene, I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy, but I got to tell you one thing. We got to do a part 2. I want to talk about doo-wop and old music with you another time, but I appreciate look at me. I just can't get enough of Gene. I just thank you for being here, and I really had a great time talking with you today.
I enjoyed it too. Next time, put your brand on your hat.
It is
somebody else's.
That's that's the show we're on.
Private Wax.
Talking Wax.
Same .com and all that.
Yeah, Talking Wax, and I'll email you all of my stuff. This way you have it. All right. And Gene,
I just want to say before I leave, it was a pleasure to talk to me. See, I gave you a pregnant pause there. I'm gonna go, and we should do it again. Dice and I should be on the same show.
I was going to ask you about that if you would do that. Can we do that? Of course.
Did he tell you the story? And I mentioned it when he came over at my place that I was built. We were staying there while we were building the big house in Beverly Hills. Hey, how you doing, Dice? Yeah, listen, Gene, I know you're a rich guy. Let me have $3.5 million. What? That was the beginning of the conversation. No, I'm not going to give you $3.5 million. No, no. He says, no, you should. You don't need that money, and I need that money to make this movie, this gangster film that I'm going to star in. Here, read the script. I said, I'm going to read the script. I'm not going to give you $3.5 million. And he's never forgiven me ever since.
You know, it's funny. That day when Eric called me to test the link out, I go, Andrew, I got my friend calling and Gene's calling. I got to test out. I go, do you want to come on the phone? He goes, yeah. He goes, do you know I went, and he brought up the movie thing. And then,
but you got to get, he's got iron nuts to have the balls to go to somebody's house and say, listen, you're a rich guy. Let me have $3.5 million. You're not going to miss it. Get out of here.
That he does have balls. I will say that.
I do have to say, Dice, in all fairness, had a T-shirt he was wearing right in front of me where it says, I promise I'll pull out. So that was that was a joke. Don't get upset, women. It's a joke.
Gene, you know what? I thank you. And we will make this happen again.
Okay.
And we'll do one with Dice. Thank you for your time. And you know what? 78 solo record. It's one of my favorites. It's beatly. I love it. And thank you for the good music and all the good you do, my friend.
And just be kind to everybody and make as many fucking jokes as you want. But otherwise, be kind.
We'll be good. All right, Mr. Simmons. I'll see you soon, Gene. Thank you. On that note, everybody, that was Gene. I'm Stefan. And you people are wonderful. I love you. I'll see you guys later. I give you permission to brag about my show now. No, our show. Thank you very much, you guys. I love you. Boom. Talking wax, all right. Wax. Stop right there. I'm ADIKA. You're on Talking Wax. So for great episodes like you just watched just now, do me a favor. You're going to share this out. You're going to send it to all your friends. And you're also, for other playlists on our new channel, you're going to click there. You're going to click here. You're going to click there. And tell people you know ADIKA, Talking Wax. Spread it out. All right, good people. Now get out of here, you crazy kids. I will see you later. Mwah. Who loves you, baby? We do. You know that. All righty. God bless. Bye-bye, everybody.